Outstanding. Okay, I am Major Dave Godwin, United States Marine Corps officer. I am an infantry officer. If you don't know what the infantry does, because you don't have a video game where people are shooting guns, the infantry are those guys who go out on the front line and serve our country against our nation's enemies, or people who wish to do us harm. What'd you say? Good to go. All right. So, I've been in the Marine Corps 22 years. All right, and I have done this job since I was 19 years old. I've been to a lot of places in the world and seen a lot of things. Over 40 countries in every state except Oregon. Got to get this. This uniform that I wear represents a lot of things, as does yours. Why do you think we call this a uniform? Anybody know? Yes, sir.
Because it's not like a war down or broke it. It's unity.
Okay, it's a representation of our organization. Yep. What else? Anyone else? Yes, sir.
It would symbolize what you're doing as a community.
Okay, absolutely. Anyone else? What's the word uniform mean? Do we know? Yes, sir.
So we all look the same.
That's right. Uniformity. Right? So we all look the same. And that's very important because it lends itself to teamwork. It lends itself to a single identity. Right? A culture. We have a culture in the Scouts, yes?
Yes.
Of respect, dignity, integrity. So every time I see a young man, a young lady in this uniform, I have an expectation of that individual. Because they have a shared culture of beliefs in right and wrong, how we treat people. It's the same thing with my uniform. Everything on this uniform means something. All right? There's different types of Marine Corps uniforms. There's uniforms for officers, like myself, and enlisted Marines, like I used to be. Okay? We also have a combat uniform. And we have different variations of this dress uniform. Different kinds, I should say. Okay. And if I were to walk down the street and see another Marine in this uniform, there is an expectation. I know that is my brother. I know if I see another Marine, I can walk up to him and he would give me the shirt off his back if I needed it. Because that's the culture we share. The level of respect we share for one another. The brotherhood. Because it comes back to the team. You know, with the Scouts and then also in the military, and not just the military, but your firefighters, your police officers, any type of uniformed service, I think in my mind, what it's about serving something bigger than yourself. It's not just about me. We all have individual personalities. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're all a little bit different, right? We all come from different parents, and we have different little molecules in our bodies that make us slightly different from everybody else. Okay? But the important part of that, when you're a part of an organization, an important organization, is that it's not just about you and your wants and your needs. It's about the team, right? And the best example I can give you, especially for my son, because he's playing now, is football, right? You might be a great, great football player. I'm just making this up, okay? Bear with me. All right, you might be a great football player. But it's about the team, because one man can't win the game out there. It's those 22 people, those 22 individuals that take the field, that football field, on both offense and defense, and win or lose the game. So it's about the team. Pride. And you'll get a little bit of the pride aspect of it this evening when you do your uniform inspection. You should wear this uniform with pride. You should have those things on your uniform that symbolize something that you've accomplished. They should be in the right spots. They should look squared away. They should look neat. Because that's important. It's about the discipline of that organization, which also lends itself to the culture of that organization. Happy to be here tonight. I don't have too much time to speak because obviously we want to get to the uniform inspection. I think that's important. All right, but I'll open it up for a few minutes to ask me some questions if you want to know about this uniform, about what I do, my service. So fire away. Yes, ma'am.
So Major Godwin, sir, when you walk up and you see someone else in uniform, you expect certain things from them, correct? Just by seeing them in uniform.
Yes, ma'am. Great question. So if I am outside, I will have this what you call a hat, we call a cover. I will have this cover on my head as soon as I walk outside. Okay. If another soldier, Marine, sailor, airman is walking towards me and I am a senior ranking officer, or if that individual is enlisted, they will salute, and then I will return their salute. And they will give me the proper greeting of the day. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening, sir. And I will say good evening back. I will return that salute and also return the greeting. Okay? Because yes, I'm an officer and I'm senior ranking to that person, but it is a sign of mutual respect. And that's why I return his salute, and that's why I also give him the proper greeting. And we know where the salute comes from, yes? Does anyone know?
No?
Greg, go ahead.
My understanding is history that when someone was walking, they put their arm up to show they didn't have a weapon,
It's
or some variation
yeah,
of that.
it comes from the knights, and before, if there was a knight coming to show that, because they wore the helmets, right, and they put the helmets down, is to show, they would raise their helmets up to show that they were friendly, and then they would put it back down. So that's where the salute comes from. All right, great question. Anything else? Yes, sir, right there.
What is this? What do you have?
What do you mean?
What countries have you been to? What languages did you speak?
I can spit. I can order food in a lot of different countries and other things.
Food and bathroom, right?
I have what? Is there a country you want to know if I've been to? Is there a country you have in mind, like one you're thinking of? China? Been there.
Every
What's that? Hong Kong as well.
all country.
I've been to every country in Asia, actually. So, Korea. All right, I think you were first, and I'll get to you next. Hey, why don't you fix your hat, bud? Thank you.
Oh,
Go ahead, sir.
have you been to Russia?
Russia?
Yeah.
I haven't been to Russia.
What-
I'd really like to go.
Now? No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You went to Europe.
Absolutely.
My
A lot of different
have
countries
it
in
off
Europe.
Snap.
Yes, sir.
My dad is actually used to be in the Air Force.
Oh yeah, is your dad here?
He's been here.
Richard, sit still.
Before 7:30.
Okay. My father-in-law, my wife's father, was in the Air Force for 28 years. So,
I don't know how long he was,
Arm up nice and high, sweetie, so I can see you.
but I believe he
okay. That's great. What do you wanna know?
What are all the badges on, like, what are those, like, all those
These,
flags?
right here?
No,
These?
Your ribbons.
yes.
They all mean something different.
Like what?
And the important part is, yes, they mean something different, but they also have to be put in a correct order.
Like what do they?
And it's very meticulous. You see all those stars and stuff on them?
Yeah.
I have to glue those on, and it's very tedious. It's very tough.
What do they start saying about being?
Which one you want to know? Pick one.
The one I at the top.
It's a meritorious service medal. It's for meritorious service. In a billet. This one was in Afghanistan, happened to be. I haven't got you yet. Okay.
Have you been to Alaska?
Alaska, yes.
How many wars have you fought in?
3.
Have you been to New Zealand?
No, I've been to Australia though, close enough, right? You get fast? Alright.
There are a lot of Christian churches and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How long were you enlisted before you got up the ladder?
Very good question.
How does that work?
In the Marine Corps, we have an enlisted to officer program. I was enlisted for 8.5 years when I got my commission. But there's a program in the Marine Corps where you can enlist in the Marine Corps. And if you do well, you can apply for a enlisted to officer program. They send you off to college, pay for it, and then you get commissioned after you graduate from college. So, 22 years, going on 23 total, so 8.5, almost half. Look, I've been an officer now longer than I've been enlisted, which is weird. Because I'm so used to being
one of
enlisted.
my second cousins is one of the head engineers for the new Zamo ship.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool. That's awesome. All right. Yes, sir. I haven't heard from you.
Have you been to Philadelphia?
Of course. That's where the Marine Corps was born. Oh, Tun Tavern, 1775. Of course, Marines would be born in a bar, but
What's your current position, sir?
I am the commanding officer of recruiting station in Milwaukee. So, out here in this capacity, in a lot of, every Marine, after a certain while of, performing in his primary job, they'll send him out to do something different just to kind of give him a break. And this isn't much of a break.
What's your biggest challenge physically and mentally?
For just in general,
Just in general.
I would say my toughest physical challenge was Scout Sniper School. That was pretty brutal. Mentally, it was probably as an operations officer in Afghanistan in 2012. So, I was fighting the whole battalion, and that getting about 2 hours sleep a night. I was able to FaceTime Cindy every once in a while. I said it was outgoing. Yes, sir. What's that? I used it. I carry an M4. It's like an M16, but collapsible stock.
Mostly snipers.
Yeah, used to carry a sniper rifle. But yes, right here.
How many states have you been to?
49
Wow.
out of 50. Yes, sir.
How do you know if people are hiding in the gun burning with hands in the hands in the air?
If they're hiding the gun,
Yeah.
it's tough to know sometimes. It's hard sometimes. It's
Have you been to Arizona?
Arizona? Yeah. Been to Arizona. I was just out there not too long ago. I flew in Arizona a few weeks ago.
there when I was 3 years
Of course. I've been to every state, all right, except for Oregon. I've been to every one. You know,
Have you been to Oregon?
Yeah. I have not been to Oregon. Yes, sir. You.
What kind of military vehicle do you drive?
I can drive them all, but I don't.
Even tank?
Yeah, I can drive a tank, sure. I'll figure it out. You don't want me driving a tank. I have been in a tank before.
Boys.
Yes.
Almost done.
Which one? This one? That's the NATO ribbon. So that's for Afghanistan. We were partnered with NATO, which is it's hard to explain, but it's essentially a global force for good. So with a lot of different countries as partners. So.
Have you been to Hawaii?
Yeah, it's been, me and my wife were in Hawaii, yeah. We've been there, been to Hawaii like 6 times.
How many dollars was the golf course?
1,000.
Oh my god. Oh my god, how many dollars?
Alright.
Yes, sir.
You've been to Las Vegas?
Of course. Of course.
Even every single
Major
citizen
Gunner.
one.
Yes, sir.
Major Godwin, sir, if you were doing a uniform inspection of your men, and they were to have buttons that were not shiny, what would happen?
Depends. I guess if it's their first offense, they would probably get a verbal counseling. If they continued to show up to uniform inspections where their uniform was in disarray, they would be formally counseled, written down. They could be busted down in rank depending on how severe. But I would tell you, I think that that's a part of building a culture, and that everybody in that team and teamwork and pride of belonging to that organization. We really don't have a lot of problems with that in the Marine Corps. If someone's screwed up, they're only screwed up once. So, and then they correct the problem. Yes, sir.
Have you been shot?
I haven't been shot, I don't think. Am I leaking?
Or is you dead right
I have not been shot. That's the purple ribbon you don't want. Yes, sir.
Have you been to Antarctica?
No. That's the only continent I haven't been to.
Oh my god.
When did I start what?
He said that already.
22 years ago. 22 years ago.
Have you been to New York?
I think we already covered that one. Yes, I have.
Pretty good. Have you gone to the moon?
I haven't gone to the moon.
What
guys.
time mom and Dave did you join the Marines?
June 3rd, 1993.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Major Godwin, sir, do you remember any of your cadences from PT?
I remember a lot of them. I do.
Would
Yeah, I used to sing them to put him to sleep. but-
Would you do one for
Oh
us?
my goodness, you put me on the spot here.
Make these guys repeat that.
I don't know if any of them are appropriate. Let me do it next time.
All right.
So I'll have some material prepared. Yes, sir. Of course.
How about we take just a couple more questions, then we get to our inspection.
Okay.
We got a couple things to do first, and then, yeah.
What vehicles do you take to get out to all these states?
The States?
Yeah, what vehicles? Like that airhead?
Just depends. Sometimes I fly, sometimes I drive. Just depends. You've lived in 4 different places already in your 6 years on this earth. You've been through a lot of states too.
I've been to
How? Let me think about it.
You'll notice I'm always adjusting my uniform. That is because I want it to be worn properly, so I'm always checking it to make sure everything's. So, as I'm a little crazy like that when it comes to uniform. Yes, sir. How old am I? I'm older than you. By a few years. What do you think?
What do you want?
What do you think?
50, 100.
27. 27.
How many,
Not 40.
how many people or how big of an area do you cover right now as your
Oh,
job?
great question. All right, so now I have Marines spread out all over the state of Wisconsin. If you name a town in Wisconsin, we cover it. I also have the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which takes about 6 hours to get to Marquette, and then I have the northwestern side of Illinois. Down. My most southwestern station is in Dixon, Illinois, and my most northern is the UP. My most western is La Crosse. So about 60,000 square miles I cover. I'm on the road a lot. All right.
How about one last one right here?
Who doesn't want to ask me what state I've been to? Yes, sir. New one.
Do you have a sword?
I do. I have a Marine Corps officer sword, yes. I do.
Do you have a baton?
What's that?
Baton?
A baton?
Yeah.
Like a police baton?
Yeah.
Or
We hold on a stick when you wreck people.
now, in my job, we typically carry guns.
You work better.
All right, guys. We got a couple announcements. We got some awards, and then we'll do the uniform inspection. You guys got something to say?
Thank you, Major Godwin, sir.
All right, you guys learned a little bit about a uniform, what you should be wearing as a Cub Scout, okay? We're gonna do some awards first. Awards.
Yes.
And then do some awards quick.
I'm recording.
You? All right, go with Mike. Week 2.